Tell me if this sounds familiar. You meet someone. Maybe she's beautiful, maybe she's kind, maybe she feels like something you've been waiting for your whole life. It's not just attraction, it's gravity. Her presence wraps around you like warm silk. Her voice feels like home. And you think, this is it. This is the one. But then, something shifts. That same warmth begins to burn. The voice that once soothed you now cuts. The closeness starts to feel like a cage. You try to hold on to the version of her you first met, but she's slipping away, replaced by someone colder, sharper, more demanding. You wonder, was she always like this? Or did I just not see it before? And then, late at night, when you're alone, you realize something even more disturbing. The woman you thought you knew might never have existed at all. She was an image, a reflection, a dream your own mind created. Carl Jung had a name for this dream, the Anima, and he warned that if you don't face her truth, she will rule you from the shadows. Are you ready to understand the real reason behind it all? Then let's keep going. Welcome back, beautiful soul, to Darker Wisdom Channel, where psychology's forbidden truths are finally exposed. This isn't self-help. This isn't spirituality. This is the raw, unfiltered knowledge your shadow has been hiding from you. Here, we don't just study the mind we hunted. We dissect the lies you've been fed about love, power, and manifestation. And most importantly, we arm you against your own darkness. Turn on notifications, because what comes next will rewire your reality. And if you dare to go deeper, subscribe so you never miss our soul-expanding content. With gratitude for your presence and support. The shadows are watching, but now so are you. Let's begin today's transformative exploration. We all carry stories about love, where it comes from, how it should feel, what it should give us. But Jung understood something most people still don't see. The women you're drawn to are not just them. They are also you. Inside every man, there is a feminine image. Part memory, part fantasy, part inherited myth. It's shaped by your first experiences of women. A mother's touch, a sister's laughter, a first love smile. But it's also shaped by what you've lost, what you feared, and what you've denied in yourself. When you meet a woman who matches that inner image, the Anima, something inside you lights up. You feel like you've found a missing piece. But here's the trap. You're not just falling for her. You're falling for the reflection of your own unconscious longing. Think about it. The man who grew up starved for affection might be drawn to the nurturer, but end up smothered by her shadow. The man who longs for passion might fall for the lover, only to be consumed by her fire. The man who needs safety might choose the queen, but end up chained to her throne. This is why so many relationships feel like they turn, like the person you fell for changed. In truth, it's the image in your mind that's shifting, revealing its other face. Now that you see the truth, would you like to go deeper into how this shapes our story? I want to tell you a story. There was a man I once knew. Let's call him David. He met a woman who felt like light breaking through clouds. She was playful, magnetic, intoxicating. For months, he felt alive in ways he never had before. But as time went on, he noticed something. Her sweetness came with a cost. She needed constant attention, constant proof of his love. If he pulled away, even to rest, she would become cold, withdrawn, even cruel. One night, after a fight, David walked into the bathroom, looked into the mirror, and realized the face staring back wasn't his own. It was the boy he used to be, lonely, desperate for warmth, willing to trade his peace just to feel wanted. In that moment, he understood. He wasn't in love with her alone. He was in love with the part of himself that still needed her to feel whole. And that part of him had been steering the ship all along. That night didn't end the relationship, but it ended the spell. And from that point forward, he began to see her clearly, the light and the shadow, the woman and the image. Now that we've seen what change looks like, how do you create it in your own life? Let's move forward. The first step isn't to run from these archetypes, it's to recognize them. When you meet someone and feel that intense pull, ask yourself, what part of me is she waking up? Is it the part that longs for safety? The part that craves adventure? The part that fears being abandoned? And then, here's the hard part, ask, what happens if she turns? What's the shadow of this dream? If you can name both the light and the dark of the archetype you're drawn to, you stop being a blind passenger. You start being the captain. This is shadow work. Not destroying the parts of you that long, but holding them in the light so they can't control you in secret. Sometimes that means slowing down when everything in you wants to rush forward. Sometimes it means choosing the relationship that feels steady over the one that feels like lightning. Sometimes it means walking away, not because she's a villain, but because she's an echo of a wound you no longer want to feed. You do this not to harden your heart, but to free it. Do you want to hear the final truth? The one that ties it all together? Let's go to the last part. Here's what Jung wanted you to know. The Anima, the feminine inside you, is not your enemy. She is your guide, but only if you see her for who she truly is. If you mistake the image for the woman, you will forever be chasing shadows. But if you meet the real person and also meet the part of yourself she awakens, you will love with eyes open. The dark side of the feminine archetypes is not about women being dangerous. It's about what happens when you give your inner queen, your lover, your maiden, or your mother full control of your choices without knowing it. You are not meant to be ruled by an image. You are meant to walk beside it, to let it teach you about your own depths. So the next time you feel that electric pull toward someone, pause, look into the mirror, and ask, is this love? Or is this a crown my shadow has placed on her head? If this reached you, if you felt something move inside as you listened, tell me. Share your story in the comments. Somewhere out there, someone is waiting to hear it, and it might just save them from falling into the same shadow you've just stepped out of. Until next time, watch your mirrors.